Hey folks, thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to This Will My Take, where the headlines meets real life. How you guys been? I hope you're having a great week start, and it's always a pleasure to have you stop by and check out what we have to say. Folks, I would like to beg of you to help the platform grow. Do think about hitting that subscribe button, smashing the like, and turning on your notification so that whenever I do drop something, you will be notified the first. Let's not talk too much. Let's get into it. Folks, so for the past couple of days now, we have been going back and forth with the Trump administration with this whole Epstein file thing. And from everything that we can see, ladies and gentlemen, a whole lot of things are being brought to light. And one of those things is actually the mental health of the president, Mr. Trump. Now, a whole lot of you folks know that if you've been following closely this man's life, even during his first term in the White House, a whole lot of questions were being asked. But because this man had a tight grip and he ruled like a mobster gangster, he had a tight leash on everything. His life is pretty much has a tight leash on everything in his life. So recently, man, there was this article that I came up about this man. He goes by the name Joe Walsh, a radio host and a former United States representative, an author, and somebody who moved from the Republican Party and he came into the Democratic Party. Man, this man has authored books like F, Silence, calling Trump out for the cultish, moronic, authoritarian con man that he is, and a whole lot of other books, ladies and gentlemen. He is from Illinois. Now let me say this, the recent Epstein situation and this man just going on a moronic tantrum online with the posts and the pointing of fingers and calling names, saying this, posting pictures of so and so, instead of coming out and taking accountability and responsibility for all his pedophilic affiliations, ladies and gentlemen. He is actually proving and showing to those who had called out this man's mental health status. And to some of us, you start thinking, are these people speaking the truth? What if that is a sign of mental health situation? What if what we are seeing is actually not normal, but because this man has built a cult-like following? Of course, in every cult, followers do not think that they are in a cult, and they do not think that that leader has any problem. Talk less of being a mental retard. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, Joe Walsh, who championed the Republican Tea Party a while back before waking up, becoming awake from the whole mumbo-jumbo that the GOP party indoctrinates and enshrines in some of its morons, is called the base. This man posted something which I want us to share with you, and I think this post is going to let us into that conversation. Is America being led by a mentally deranged individual? Now, this is what Mr. Joe Walsh posted. As all of this is playing out, Trump's health and cognitive fitness are in the spotlight again. White House physicians report that he is suffering from chronic venous insufficiency, which has resulted in his unsightly ankle swelling. He wrote on Friday, everybody has seen those pictures. If you've not seen those pictures, the moment I saw it, I was like, oh man, the evilness in this human being is starting to fester and eat him from the inside. Now, I know that a whole lot of people have said that this is benign and is nothing big, but it always starts with something benign and it leads to something bigger, which eventually consumes the body. Let's continue, man. Not a terribly shocking development for an obese 79-year-old man. We all know that he eats unhealthy food. However, he said, a bigger concern is his cognitive decline. I do agree with you, Mr. Joe Walsh. Drawing attention to a previous allegation Walsh himself made. He added on Friday, as you know, I've said there's a cover-up going on in the White House with respect to Trump's cognition. We all know that. I don't know his base do not see that, but those of us standing out and looking from outside of the box, we all see that some of the things this man has said in his life is not normal. It's just for those who are mentally retarded who will say that. For example, do you guys remember when he said people should drink bleach to kill the COVID-19 virus in their system? I don't want to go back to that, but let's go on what Mr. Joe Walsh said. There was more proof of his decline this week as Trump publicly questioned why Joe Biden fired Fed Chair Jerome Powell. I thought that was crazy too, ladies and gentlemen, because I know that this man appointed this guy. And for him to say Joe Biden, it just goes to prove that there is something deeply, deeply wrong with this man's mental health. And the Republicans and the MAGA base and those around him, his cult followers, they are just protecting this man. Even though he appointed Powell during his first term, yikes, Mr. Joe Walsh wrote, let me say this. Sometimes the leader becomes sick and he starts acting crazy. But in order to maintain some air of normalcy, in order to pretend like everything is going on correct with the leader, those around him rally around and support him, even though they know that there is a problem. Folks, all of those moronic rants that this man ranted, and remember when he paused with a question that a reporter asked A.G. Pam Bundy about what she said about the Epstein files. There is nothing to see here. Right after she made the American people and her base, the MAGA base, understand that whole thing was on her table, and this man just jumped in and like, why are we talking about this guy? He's a creep. We've done a whole lot of things, and so on and so. That there just pointed out some of the cognitive decline of this man. And then the whole moronic rant online about, oh, it's a hoax, oh, this is that, oh, the Democrat created it. If something is a hoax, how do you know the Democrats created it? Are you trying to let us know that it actually exists? Or this is that, or based on this, or those who are supporting some of my base, you are morons, and so on and so forth. I will end this vlog by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for a shocker of our lives as the American people see the country declining into what he himself called other African countries, a shithole. I'm not talking about the economy. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking about politics in America is gradually becoming a shit show. And yes, we can call it a shit show because we are seeing what is going on. And you see this Epstein file cover up? I think this is that straw that would actually bring this man to his knees. And mark my words, we are definitely going to know exactly those who are on that list, because we are starting to see the push and the momentum building up, and some GOP reps are actually backing this whole thing off. This world is complicated. We are going to keep talking about it. But before I go, please do not forget, help the platform grow, hit that subscribe button, and hey, let me know exactly what you think down in the comment section. Stay blessed, folks.